All right, guys, welcome back to a quick video. This is the iPhone 17 Pro. It's about a week follow-up. So been giving you some content on this phone. I've been really enjoying this phone. So let me talk about what I like about this phone first. The unibody design is something that I definitely didn't know how I feel about it, but I knew I would like it, but I didn't know I would love it. And the reason I'm speaking of it this way with this particular phone is because this is the larger version. This is the 17 Pro Max. Now in my hand, it probably doesn't look like a 17 Pro Max, but this is a 17 Pro Max. And I'm glad that they kind of went with this unibody design because it gives me something in the smartphone that I actually really enjoy, which is these rounded, smooth corners. That speaks volumes for me. If you want a large phone, this is why I love phones like the Pixel 10 Pro XL. The Pixel 10 Pro XL is the same kind of design, the rounded body, but it's a little bit more flat on the sides. And so that makes this phone even more appealing for feel in hand, you know, the way it feels in your hand. This is one of the best feeling large phones in hand to date. Now it does feel just as good. I mean, because one of the phones that I think it feels the best in hand is the OnePlus 13. I think the OnePlus 13 is one of the best feeling phones in hand because it has this texture back on here. And I would love to see Apple start doing something like this with their phones. The unibody design is a start though, and I really can appreciate what they're doing with this body. This is a larger device, but it feels really good because it's all one piece and it's just rounded on every corner. And the iPhones were already kind of round on the corners, but this just takes it to another level. So I really like this hardware on this larger phone. Now, a dislike that I don't like, or something I don't like about this phone, I think you already know what it is. It's just the way this camera module is. It's not my favorite, but that's it. And when you have a design on something, it's going to be something that you just don't like. And that is something that I feel like most people probably saw this and was like, what the heck? They stretched the bar across. And that's just what it is. My previous iPhones don't look like this. But it is what it is, man. This is the design that they gave. I've been vocal on this since before having this phone. It's different than the Air because the Air is built different. I don't know, it's just different. It's different here. This is just a different design, and probably because it has more cameras and there's more spacing here, it just feels different. There's a big space right here, but it just, I don't know, it just feels different. But nonetheless, to me, this is probably the only part of the phone that I don't like is this camera design. But you know what? I saw for that by buying a case like the Rinky Onyx or the Rinky FX camo case. In this case right here, I have a link in the description so you can grab yours. And also picked up a tempered glass as soon as I got the phones and put it on. So I'll leave a link to both of these in the screen protector and the case in the description if you decide to pick one up. I think this will bring your phone to the next level. If you don't like the way this phone looks on the rear, there's very few phone cases out there that are making this design, covering it completely up. I think this is what this phone needs. And this is one of the few phones that I actually use a case with full time. I know I'm team caseless, but with this phone, I know I don't have to look at the back of the phone, but it's more than that. It gives grip all on the sides. You still have access to all of your buttons and everything. The access on here is just really good. So let's remove it for now. But this is what I recommend if you have any color of this phone right here. But nonetheless, I do like the overall feel in hand. It's a good looking phone. It's just this rear area right here. It's just not my favorite. So aside from that, I don't have to look at the back of the phone. I have to look at the front of the phone. You guys are seeing the back of the display or back of the phone if I'm holding it and you're looking at me. But looking at the front of the display, you get something good. And what you get is a beautiful display. This is about as borderless as an iPhone can get right now. There were rumors that they were going to move to a punch hole design over here for the front camera. But this is a thin, borderless device, and it's rounded. So some people might find that appealing, but you do get a beautiful display. And the stereo speakers on here are absolutely insane. Like I don't even have to turn the mic towards this, towards the phone itself. But I'll give it a little volume. I had a 24 E-Ray before this and a 23 Stingray before that. So I've landed on, I think, what is my favorite C8 so far. Yeah, this is top-notch speaker quality. And the phone has got enough space inside for as far as the thickness goes to give it that beautiful, beautiful sound that's coming from. So media consumption is going to be off of the charts for you with this phone. You shouldn't have an issue because this is a large, beautiful display. It's not just a good display. It's a great display. When you compare it next to some other phones, yeah, it might be not as clear, not as good. It might not look concerned, but I think overall people aren't going around comparing phones and they're not, some users don't, or most users don't have more than one device. So there's nothing for them to compare it to. But if you compare it to the previous generation iPhones, the display on this is just as good, if not better. So that's something that you should take note of. So I really like the display. Could they do anything different on the display? Probably the island up here, the dynamic island is what it's called. Remember that when they first announced that? The dynamic island, they could shrink it down a little bit and have it software based for when it's gets bigger. It already does that now. It gets a little bigger now sometimes in the software when you're doing it, but they have to have something there for the dynamic island. And if they could work on getting that even smaller, I think that would be great. Or even moving it to one of the corners. I don't know that they would do that. But if they decide to do that, a welcome change will be good. But other than that, man, I mean, as far as the display goes, it's actually beautiful. This is a beautiful screen and it's the sweet spot. So another area that I found that myself really doing is something that I do anyway. I use phones on the channel to record. I'll be going back to some of my mirrorless cameras and I've got a new camera coming in that I bought. So I'll show you that in a later video, but the cameras on here are top notch. Apple has got it to where their front camera can record in portrait and landscape. And I just really like all the functionality that Apple's camera software is getting better. Apple still is in control of your camera, not in a bad way, but they're not giving you all the bells and whistles on the app itself, like some other companies do, like Sony and Samsung and LG. They throw it all on the app. And so you don't have to go into settings to make changes. And that's still the thing with Apple, but it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just that is how their camera software is set up. And there's a lot going on here for the things that they do allow within the app. Some of these things I just don't use. I set my style, I set my flash, I don't need timer. The aspect ratio is typically the same for me, and night mode is on auto, and I don't need to adjust the exposure because I can do that here. I can have it set on this side to do the exposure if I want to. So aside from that, you've got a lot of options in here. You've got time lapse, slow motion, cinematic videos where I actually live. I live in cinematic video. 4K, I have my 4K 60 set. The camera does a whole bunch. I mean, you've got to, when you're using this phone, if you don't like 4K, if you don't like 4K HDR or ProRes, I don't know, I would say test these out. That's what I would tell you. Get to know, test your limits on recording. I still say I'm a novice and I live within the 4K 60, 4K 30 HDR, but I've been using log and ProRes on the phone. It's different than my mirrorless camera, but it's still something that if you have this expensive phone, start playing with it and getting in there, because the fact is they give it to you right in the app now. So you can do that in other phones. Someone asked real quick, somebody asked about fast. Someone's just kept asking about what happens if you record fast moving objects. I don't know what the purpose of that comment was, or what they were getting at, but this phone does fine with recording fast moving objects. And you also have this action button right here if you're going to be moving fast. The dual capture just brings up a little window for your face on the front camera, and then the rear camera is recording at the same time. But, you know, in the end, the camera app isn't as feature packed, or it doesn't appear that way. But really, it doesn't matter, because Apple, the quality is what is really about. And Apple is winning in the video recording space. hands down. Now, the spatial mode, I haven't used this yet but I do turn that on, but I haven't had this for maybe about a week or so, so I just haven't panned over and used it yet. However, speaking of pan, panorama. So in the end, these cameras have shown me and proven to me that they can be used in any scenario, even indoors, man. So if you saw the last video I shot here, it's indoors, and this is the front camera. It's the front camera. This is a video that I'm working on for my car channel. This is the front camera shooting in portrait mode. This is ridiculous. The quality that you're getting from these cameras, front and rear, is just on another level. Now, Apple has done wonders with this front camera, and I appreciate what they're doing. I hope other companies can catch up to what Apple is doing on their front camera, because it used to be Sony banging out the front cameras and having the best front cameras for a while. And then they just gave up on it, I guess, or stopped. And it's sad because you don't hear much from Sony phones. Everyone had their time, I guess. There was a segment where everyone had the best video, the best this, the best that. And right now, I think Apple is definitely winning when it comes to video quality. They are winning, folks. There's no other way to say it. They're winning, and I'm happy that they're winning. At one point, I was annoyed with people back in the day saying that Apple had the best video cameras, and I felt like they didn't. But now, fast forward, again, even the Air can shoot better than some other phones on the market, and it just has a single camera. Everybody complains about that. It's funny, people, maybe it's just the price, because my SE, I have an iPhone SE, and it has a single camera. According to Apple, it's 2 cameras in one. This really is a good camera because it has the same main sensor as this one. Our main camera system, just a different sensor. So me using this for a week, what have I learned? I've learned that the software is still the software. It's still iOS 26. It's still fast and fluid. It's still, yes, I use Gemini. I prefer Gemini. It's still, this phone is, it's an iPhone. So after a while, you're just going to be focusing on a couple things: battery, design, cameras, screens. What else can you focus on? Because the software is done, it's set. This software is clean, it's polished, it's stable, it's all of that. I have no complaints about the software. If something does go wrong, I will be sure to update you guys and tell you, hey, look, this is what it is. But the week of using this, those have been my main focuses, man. That I'm using the phone regularly. It's my daily driver right now, along with the Pixel 10 Pro XL, and then the phone I'm recording with, which is the S25 Edge. The phone is complete. It's got great battery life, killer cameras, and a big screen. And the hardware is good to those that like the way it looks. I like the way it feels, but unfortunately, this is the first iPhone or first phone, I think, that I've been regularly carrying it around in a case. Yeah. So anyway, I will leave you with that. This is a week follow-up, and this phone is good. It's a good phone. I didn't think it wouldn't be, but I think more importantly, I'm not that big of a fan of carrying around all big phones. I prefer the smaller variants, but I'm testing myself now by carrying around my 10 Pro XL and the S25 Edge and this iPhone 17 Pro Max. It is a solid built phone, man. I really like it. So if you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.